stream and the actual stream proper. So I'm just going to enjoy a cup of coffee until folks on chat tell me that I'm actually live again. This is kind of a normal thing. I wish there was a better way to do this. All right, cool. So it looks like chat is confirming that they can see me, which is cool. All right, so let's get this going. So let me see. I got my little script up here. Hey, hi, I'm Joshua. Today is March 12th, 2017, and today I am working on my video game Delver. Surprise, surprise. So if you don't know, Delver is a passion project that I've been working on for about 4 years now. I am one half of Team Delver. The other half of the team is a developer named Chad. He is the original creator and like lead designer, programmer, all that good stuff on the project. I am the art guy. I do all the 2D, 3D art. I do level design. I do some programming. Again, we're a two-man team, so we wear a lot of hats. But it's cool. It's something we've done in our free time, and we want to get this done. And that's what these streams are about: is helping me carve out time every week to work on it and to talk to the community, let folks know what we are working on. So this is a place if you want to give feedback. Give feedback if you want to learn about game dev. That's also a thing you can do here on this channel. If you are interested to learn more about Delver, our website is behind my head. It's delvergame.com. We are in Steam Early Access, so here's a link right there. If you want to support us, we're $7.99 US. And that price will go up once we release the full version to, I believe, $9.99, which is still not terribly much. If you scroll down the page, we also have a Humble widget. If that's the route you'd rather go, you should get a Steam key. Yep, so you get a Steam key when you buy this. So I mean, if that's a route you'd like to go, then that's also an option for you. Just to give you a heads up, the Humble build is typically is behind the Steam build. So if you want the latest and the greatest version of Delver, Steam is the way to go. Cool. Hey Tesla, and Javier, and Enrique, and everybody in chat, and Guy. Sorry if I don't know your name just quite yet. It still takes me a little bit to learn all of you folks' names, but I will try my best. Cool. So that's that. That's the plug. Let's look at the past week in Delver development. Let me get this out of the way, or at least get my head out of the way. And let's go to our repositories. Cool. I think. Let me just not worry about that. Let me just use the GitHub app since I already have that stuff hooked up and working. Sync. Cool, yeah. Yeah. So the True Shadox was commenting that they can finally catch up on the past few weeks. So let me do. I just do like a git for those of you watching my stream. I just do like a git log. Let me copy and paste that. So git log, do a one-liner since a week ago, and do some pretty formatting just to make it a little bit more legible on stream. So wow, Chad has been crazy busy this week. Let me see. So this actually these fixes here. He actually so last week when I streamed a little bit later in the day, and he was on the stream, and he was actually fixing bugs during my stream and checking them in, which was pretty cool. So there was an issue with the editor that if you hit undo and you hadn't done anything yet, it would crash. So that's fixed. Some modders had requested being able to set the atlas on sprite beams. So this is basically an effect that you can attach to like magic missile projectiles to do interesting stuff. So now you can set a atlas on that, and it will honor that, which is cool. So another modder requested change, I think by Javier. Weapons now have a base mod. A base mod is just a way to boost stats for a weapon. So if you want to like have a weapon that is a +4 attack, but it's not a enchanted weapon. It's just has boosted stats. You can do it that way. Armor has always had this for some odd reason. I think we did that so that armor can slow you down. But also now weapons honor this too, which is cool. There's also we have a new shadow system in Delver, which is pretty cool. It's both a shadow and like halo system. I believe we're using. I should be more responsible and actually look up the technique that we're using, but I know he uses some sort of like stencil volume to calculate this out. And I've just kind of played with the shapes of the volumes to make them more pixel appropriate. Okay, that looks all right. Okay. Yep. So more light shadow stuff. Yeah. So okay. So I've been trying to figure out a good way to solve how we can. So I know Chris. He's on the chat sometimes as Chezzy. Was wanting a way to inject notes into just vanilla Delver without having to make new areas. And there wasn't a super great way to do that, so I made a change and I reverted it because it wasn't quite good. And I think back up here, I figure a more appropriate way to do that, and I'll talk about that later. Yep. So more stencil shadow refactoring. So we put the I think last either this a few. I can't remember if it was this update or the previous one. We added a higher level of graphic fidelity called Ultra. So if you want the really fancy like shadows and halos, you have to crank your graphics all the way up to Ultra. Just to give you a heads up, some of like my older MacBook, the MacBook 2010, I think, starts to slow down on the Ultra graphics level. So you may have to slide that as needed for if you have on older hardware. Yeah, especially because like particles now can have shadows and halos, which is craziness. Halo colors can be set per entity. That is really cool. I didn't know we could do that. I know I had mentioned that, and it looks like Chad actually came through and delivered that, so that's awesome. I mean, to be honest, a halo color should just inherit the color of the light source, but we can kind of play around and see how that's actually working. Clean up in the renderer, nice. Fixing a halo-related crash, performance tweaks, more performance tweaks. Ultra-level halos are a tad bigger, slowing the halo effects, tweaking option screen display of UI size. So these are all just kind of just little small tweaks here and there, trying to improve and stabilize this stuff. Fixed rendering issue on game over screen, fixing some spell effect particles. Somebody on my YouTube channel. So if you don't know, I do archive all of my past streams, and you can find them somewhere below here. There should be an archive link to take you to my YouTube page for my Delver development stream playlist, which should have all of these since last July, which is pretty cool. But I had somebody on my YouTube channel comment that they were still having issues with the arrows stacking. And like Chad and I have been working on shoring this up for quite some time, and I'm not quite sure what caused it. Well, so I figured out why it was happening is basically our item stacks really are just kind of a generic entity that you give a type. So for a stack of arrows, its type is arrow. And if you look at like the gun mod uses an item stack of type bullet or type shell, whatever. For some odd reason, I'm not sure if it was just an old save. The user who's having the issue with the stacking arrows sent me their save file, and their arrow stack had a type of stack, which makes me think it was old data. So hopefully this once and for all fixes the the arrow stacking issue. We also added I guess Chad added a company name to the game, which is pretty cool. It's just a minor little thing, and then I iterated on the logo until I found I think the white logo, even though it's not like super flashy. I think it is like the kind of the classier way to go, and I think it'll age better. And then I allowed theme merging. So basically, what you can do is now you can create a mod that you define a generator. In the generator, you can redefine a theme. So, for example, dungeon, and then the dungeon you can add an info. And then what we'll do is we'll take all the dungeon infos and merge them together. So Chris wanted to add some additional notes to the dungeon area, and that is now possible. You could also add different types of decorations or whatnot if you wanted to do it that way. This is kind of an experimental thing. We're kind of seeing how modders actually like it and if they end up even using it. I also expose the shop items property on shopkeeps. So if you want to have a shopkeeper with a deterministic inventory, you can do that now. And then Chad added dialogue to the shops with an apology to the translators. So Javier, Louis Carl, Guy. I think even that Bluestone there in chat, he submitted a PR that we'll get looking at here in a little bit for German, which is really cool. But yeah, so there is a little bit more dialogue, and I'll kind of show that off here a little bit. And then Firelight has a halo, and doors can start on fire. Sweet. So let's kind of just jump into Delver and play around with some of this new stuff. Let's look at this and go. Ooh, now we're a real company. Yeah, so you can see the Ultra Halos in the back there, and if we go to the options, if you grab this graphics detail slider and if you change it, you can see how it changes. There's also a little jump on the decoration items between low and medium. I'm not quite sure why. It looks like the Y offset's being changed. I'm not sure why, but yeah. So if you want the light halos, you have to put it either on high or ultra. I will play on ultra. Hey Gunner Live. Hey Makilio. Let me see. So yeah, so we made the shopkeepers a tad more chatty. So when you use the shopkeeper, it'll say blah 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 blah. And they tell you some stuff, blah blah blah. Hopefully a little bit more storytelling. Hopefully a little bit idea of like what they do. And then when you come back to them, the second time it's just a one-screen message. So translators, if when you're translating that, kind of try to keep that in mind. Like we're very comfortable with translators having a lot of leeway to kind of localize it where it makes sense. But we're trying to keep that second. And if you notice, he'll always repeat the same. This same message here, and if we look over at the code, I think it's here, this joff.dat. So let me just try to get this into one big window. There we go. So this they repeat this last message. So we try to keep this message short so you can get to the shop without having to go through a lot of dialogue to get to your shopkeep. Let me see. Oh, Javier is pointing out that ooh, Chad. So Chad didn't add a string Chad did not add a string resource for Ultra. So let's look at where that lives. Dungeoneer desktop. So no. What am I doing? Interrupt engineer. Screens. Main mini screen. Ultra. Oh no, looks like he did add it. Uh, bu- 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 so here's the property name, Javier. Let me go ahead and I'll just real quick. Let me just Control A, Control C. Let's pop over real quick to um, my example mods, my language pack ENUS and data. Let's go to strings.dat, and I think if I just go A, Control B, Control S, let's look at the delta on that. Delaware example mods, changes, strings.net. Yeah, so there are, okay, cool. So updating US, updating English strings. Let me uncheck these. These are just stage stuff. I think also I need to add if I recall correctly, he added assets, data, messages, and I think Hoodie, Joff, Quiet Guy, and Wizard. I think are the new ones. Maybe. I think they're new. Let me look at here. Data, messages. Yeah. Quiet Guy, I think, is not new. So let's. Nope. I want to reveal an explorer? Yes. Okay, so let's bring up this other window. And language strings, data, messages, Hoodie, Joff, Wizard, copy. So there should be there's 9 items. 9 items, and then in here, just the one. Cool. Okay. I think that's all the new Loc stuff. So let me go ahead and just commit that so you folks can get an idea of what that entails. But basically, the shopkeeps just have like a long message and a short message is kind of the takeaway there. Adding shopkeeper dialog. Setting, commit, and sync. Cool. Yeah, so for the translators, I just updated the English strings, so you can hopefully use that as a way to diff to see if there are any things you're missing. If you are missing stuff, though, the localization system should just default to English, which is. I think I misspelled English. Oh, Lord. Yeah, there's only one G in English. Oh, Joshua. Oh, Joshua. Let me see. Mikilo says, where I learned pixel art. Any tips? I've been doing pixel art for way too long. Man, it's just, for me, it's just been a lot of practice. It's a mix of practice and a mix of like study, and I find that not only studying pixel art but also like traditional art and like 3D modeling has also helped me think about the way that I do pixel art. Let me see. Francisco Valam says, "Yo." So yeah, it looks like there's a few folks from Mexico here, which is really cool. I'm not quite sure where Javier is from, but he is the guy who is kind of pushing the effort to do the Spanish localization. And I think, if I recall correctly, I might have some pull requests from him I need to take a look at. But let me go ahead and just keep on kind of covering the new stuff to Delver, and then we'll pop back over to the Delver example mod repo. So let me see. Yeah, I was talking about some of the new graphic settings when Javier called me out on not having the ultra settings correct. Michael says he's into the Switch and he wants Delver on the Switch. Oh man, Oh man, that would be again like I think for proper console support, we would have to like port our entire engine because we wrote a custom engine in Java of all things. So yeah, maybe if Delver sells well, we can use some of that money to port it. I don't know. Ba, 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 ba. Yeah. So I guess so. Right now, the chat is really into this whole Loke stuff. So I'm just going to go with that. I'm not going to push my agenda. Um, yeah. So let me just real quick. Let me pop open Photoshop, and I'll kind of go over the font stuff. So if you are interested in localizing to a non-Latin font, you can do it, but you have to do a little bit more work. So let's do that. So assets. So if you look into the, I think it's the UI folder, maybe. Oh, yeah, there's this pixel.ping. There's a pixel.fnt and a pixel.ping. These are the two things you care about if you're going to be defining a new character set. So if I pull in pixel.ping, and then if I add the old red. Zero. If I add the old magenta back here. So I've went ahead and I've drawn all of these characters. And it should cover a good chunk of the Latin, like the at least languages that use the Latin like alphabet. So if you want to add non-Latin characters, you would need to add to this sheet. I think the easiest way to do it would be to just well, there's a couple ways you can do it. Basically, you could just add your own characters here on the bottom. And you can make them any size because it's this pixel.fnt file is the one that kind of does the magic. So if we look at pixel.fnt, all this is it's just a mapping of a character ID. So character 33, which I believe should correspond to the exclamation point here. And sorry, wrong window. So 33, the X is 0, the Y is 0, the width is 8, and the height is 12. So that tells the engine how to slice your character out of this sheet. So 8 by 12. 8 by 12. So that is the slice it will get for the exclamation point. And then we have this X offset and this Y offset. That's kind of like kerning. If you look at some of these characters down here, particularly like the ones with the little hooks or the cedillas, or the cedilla. I can't see one with the cedilla right now. Where's that the cedilla? But yeah, you can use the Y to lower those down. And these can be of any dimension. So if you wanted to make it, if you need a little bit more width or a little bit more height, you can just change this. And these are all I would leave the Latin characters alone and just add your definitions to the bottom of this. I'm pretty I need to double check that we actually let me check to see if we support that stuff for modding real quick. Because now that I'm thinking about it, it makes me a little nervous that we don't. Pixel.fnt. Default fonts. Yeah, actually, this might be. This might be tough. There might have to be some more work on my end if we want to support non-Latin characters. I'll kind of read the docs on that, and if folks are asking for it, I will see what I can do. Yeah. Yeah, it would be nice if libgdx would add support for that. I don't know how realistic that is. But yeah, so that is our engine is written in Java on top of libgdx, which is written on top of LWJGL, which is on top of OpenGL. So that's kind of our setup there. That's kind of the high level overview of the characters. And then if you wanted to do a translation, you just look at the English language string out here on my GitHub repo, and you just go through and you just replace these localized names. And we will, this is the key, and this is the value. So we will swap these out. Cool, yeah, no, I mean, I would love to support Asian alphabets, but that would be some more work. I just wanted to get this ball rolling because, like, we didn't really originally have any intention to support localization at all, but I feel pretty strongly about letting folks play the game in their native language. So this was I think I added 2 weeks to our development cycle by doing this, but I think it'll be worth it. Okay. What else was in the changes here that I should show off? So the halos are cool. I can show those off in the editor, and I want to see these doors burn down. So let's play around with that. I think we have. Right now, the game is $7.99 US on Steam. Levels, test, fire spreading, load. Yep, this is. I had an idea this is what Chad would do. So we have fire entities, and these can propagate to breakables and doors and enemies. So if I pop in this level, we'll watch. You know, the fire will do its thing, and that like I guess the thing about fire is it's not 100% chance that it will spread. That was strange there. So I mean, sometimes it does and sometimes it doesn't. So I mean, it's kind of slightly non-deterministic in that. How did that guy get up there? Why does it keep flashing black? Now I'm on fire, but fortunately, water does put it out. And I think these two fire entities are set up so that they always burn. I think that they have a really long lifetime, but typically they don't last very long. I'm trying to see if I can reproduce. So it looks like there's some weird. So Chad, if you saw that, there seems to be some weird issue when the door burns. It looks like all the dynamic lights get turned off for a second. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on there, but it's something we definitely need to look into. Hey, Guy. So yeah, so thank you for so buying my game does definitely directly support me. For those of you who don't know, again, hi, I'm Joshua. I'm the art guy on the video game Delver, which is what we're watching right here. Delver is a project. It's a fantasy dungeon crawler with FPS roguelike elements, and it's a project that we've been working on for a few years in our free time, and we are trying to get this thing wrapped up and in a good state. So I don't have a day job anymore. I left my day job to be a stay-at-home father. So right now Delver is my only income. So I'm trying to get this finished and then potentially look at working on additional projects in the future. So yeah, so buying my game does help directly support me, and I appreciate it quite a bit. So yeah, so fire spreading is cool, and the fires now have halos, which is cool. What else? What else was preview where the arrow fixing? That should just work now. Yeah, let's look at some of these pull requests I have, I think, out on my my repo. So for those of you who do not know, I have started a repository out on GitHub called Delver Example Mods. Out here, I'm trying to collect good examples that folks can use to start their mods. So I created one called Character Story Pack, which shows you how to make items for a character. This one here is this template. It's called, what is it called? Template. So this is just this is an example of how to do the new dungeon system. The new dungeon system allows us to more easily merge folks' levels together. So in theory, folks could make as many new levels for Delver as they wanted, and they could make it into a very long game with lots of variety. Francisco Valum says, "Why in Mexico it's cheaper?" I think Valve they do some price adjustments, and they try to have it adjust for the cost of living in different areas. I'm not 100% on that, but I think that's why. So the item guns, I'll probably the item guns is a lot of fun. It's just a silly mod that adds a bunch of guns because we like the Delver code has had hit scan weapons in it for a few years now, and we just wanted to expose them so people can play around with those. And then we have the English language pack, the Spanish language pack, and then the French language pack. Let me look at. So I have 5 issues and 2 PRs. So let's look at some of this stuff. New merchant dialogue added. So this is Javier's. Looks like he's changed quite a few files. Let me just give him kind of just a brief overview. But Javier's been pretty good about, like, he has done PRs with me before, so he kind of knows what I'm looking for. Looks like just a few tweaks here and there. Some punctuation, nothing big. And then he added support for the new shopkeeper text. And also too, this is kind of a good point too for translators. What we do for the items is we combine the item with a bunch of adjectives. And if you want to flip the order of those adjectives, if you look for entities.item.item name text, these values here correspond to the different, so I believe, let me see. So here I tell you what these numbers mean. So 0 is the prefix enchantment. So in English, we use a thing like kings, which is like a possessive adjective, and the one curly brace is the item name itself. So this could be sword or whatever. So looks like Javier. Looks like he did. As Javier is mentioning, looks like he pulled in some stuff that isn't from, or he pulled it from his mod. So maybe Javier, could you remove your mod content out of this? Because I'd rather this be kind of just like a vanilla, just the base translation strings for Delver, so folks looking at it can kind of know what they need to translate as kind of like a minimum bar. So yeah, if you could remove, I think you added, looks like you added stuff for your mod. Yeah, your mod's in there. So if you could separate those out before I accept your PR, I'd appreciate that. Let me just make a note of that real quick. Please remove your mod from your mod. Smiley face is fine. Okay, and there's another pull request out here for the German translation, which is pretty cool. I think it's by Bluestone, which I think that Bluestone was in chat. Hopefully they're still around. Maybe, yeah, looks like Bluestone is still around in chat. If this is the same one, let me just kind of take a peek. Files changed. So some of this stuff looks. So some of this stuff is not translated, and some of it is. And let's load the diff on this. Oh, cool. So, let me just. Cool, and it actually looks like they're using correctly these form and forms thing, which is awesome. And hopefully that wasn't too hard for them to figure out. Let me just check it out. Let's look at. So they forked my repo, so I should be able to go to their repo, go here. Let's just download a zip. Cool. That. Okay. Downloads. Where did you save it to? Oh, Delver example mods. Yeah, because this is okay. Yeah. Let's just look in here. And then it looks like. Did they add a new directory or no? Let me see where their strings are at. So they're PR. Oh, did I not get the? They must have put it in my dummy. Yeah, so they created a branch, which is cool. So that's why I was not seeing the correct thing. Let me just. Oh yeah, let me delete all that. And let me see. Let's download this branch. Oh, hey Chad. I guess I didn't see you there. How are you, sir? So Cuttigan there in chat is the other developer of Delver. Oh, hey Hippie. Thank you for stopping by, sir. Haven't seen you in a while. How's life? Okay, so let's go to assets, mods, and I have a couple of mods in here. So let me I'll explain this Dungeon Shopkeeper one here in a bit. But let me go ahead and delete that, and then I will move. This is Chris's Nomad mod, which is pretty cool. Let me go in here and then find the language pack DE and copy. And then now when I fire up Delver, it should be in German, which is pretty cool. Yep, and looks like that Bluestone is confirming that it lives out in their own branch. Let me. Respect to data strings to start. Main menu. Unfortunately, I don't speak to German. Yeah, so unfortunately I don't speak. I only speak English, and I can read and speak Spanish, but at a very, very elementary level. So I'm really trusting on you, or I'm putting a lot of faith in you folks to provide good translations. Cool. This looks really awesome. So hopefully the translation hasn't been too terrible for German. It is my worry, because I know like German words can get kind of long. So hopefully all this stuff is kind of scaling right. For the translator folks, if you see stuff that looks like here, I need to fix these buttons. So yeah, let me know. And also, if any of the characters look incorrect, let me know also. Like, I appreciate all the work that folks are helping out and providing these cool translations. Yeah, but you can see the fireflies also cast these little halos, which is pretty cool. Yeah, I'm not quite sure how I feel about it, but I think it's cool. So we'll leave it in for the time being and see if I warm up to it. But yeah, so it looks like yeah, Eisendoch. Cool. Wow. So yeah, hopefully the item system works out okay, because that is my concern is for folks to be able to construct the items correctly. So I'll play a little bit. Schleissen. I think that was how you say that. Or Schleissen? Schleissen. Yeah, maybe. Again, if I'm butchering your language, I apologize. I'm in a bad spot. Cool. Yeah. Unfortunately, I have no idea what the stats are. I think they are randomly chosen too, so there's no way I can really fudge it too easily. Man, this bat is giving me a hard time. Yeah, and you can see like the halos are cast on the walls, which are cool, and items cast shadows, and you cast a shadow, which I thought was pretty cool too. So this also hopefully will help you figure out what you can pick up and what you cannot, simply by the fact that things you can pick up cast shadows now. Yeah. Wow, that's cool. Okay, quit and quit. Nice. So that looks like it's it looks like you have a pretty good start on things. I might hold off on the PR until it's complete, and only because I want this to these to be like as complete translations as they can be. So go ahead and keep working on it, and once you have these notes translated, I think there's just a few left. So once those are translated, go ahead and ping me, and I will merge your pull request in. So that's exciting. Oh, Javier, you didn't have to close out your pull request. You can leave it open and just keep making commits to it. So if you folks haven't used GitHub before, a pull request is when you submit a request to have your code merged into mine. And I'm the owner of the main Delver example mods repo, but folks can clone it and fork it and do whatever they want with it, which is just a way of saying that they can get a copy of it and they can make changes to it. So if you open up a pull request, you can just leave it open and keep committing changes to that branch, and Git will go ahead and update your pull request as you do that. So it's just a little bit of a quality of life thing there. So you don't have to keep closing and opening up pull requests. Cool. Issues. Javier. So unable to assign base mods property. Yep. So Chad fixed. Let me say this has been fixed. Comment and close. Issues. Sometimes new added armor types just erase everything in the number of groups they are placed on. Using the default items in Delver, there are 5 groups of weapons, 1 to 5, and 7 groups of armor. Create a mod that adds new weapons to groups 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I got it, Javier. No, yeah, yeah, no. The Bluestone, like I think if you like on my example mods repo here, I have like just a kind of a basic how to do a like a pull request. Yeah. So if you put it in your own feature branch on your repo, it makes life a little easier. So Javier is saying, create a mod, add new weapons to groups 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then add an armor type to any of the armor groups that exist. If that armor is placed in groups 1 to 5, it appends correctly. If it's added 6 or 7, it erases everything in the group. Weird. Okay. Yeah. I think so. So Javier, so the repro is short for reproduce. Is basically how to reproduce this issue. Um, I wish there was an easy way to. Let me go ahead and I will just copy this over to um, the Delver. I'll create an issue on the Delver repo, and then we can come back and copy and paste. Because yeah, the Delver is not open source, so just edit, Control V, preview. Can I link to another repo though? I should be able to, I think. Copy from preview. Sorry, I'm doing stuff up. Yeah, there we go. So I guess there's nothing secret over here. I'm just sorry. I just do a quick little, and then follow up. So basically, this creates a little ticket for us to fix. So it looks like I copied over Javier's stuff. Labels. Let's try to get this. It's a bug. It is player reported. Let's try to get it in the March milestone, and I'll send it to Chad. That seems like a Chad, something he would know better than I would, and I will submit the issue. Cool. So when this gets fixed, we'll just follow this link back to this issue here and close it out, so you know that we actually get that into the get the changes in. Empty groups of items crash the game when trying to pick an item from that group. Yeah. So basically, they're an empty list and not a null list. Yep. Let me go ahead and just do the same thing. I'm just going to go ahead and create a new issue over on the Delver repo. And I am just going to lift Javier's stuff. I appreciate, yeah, so yeah, I do appreciate this feedback, folks. We do our best to listen to, especially like bugs and things that break the game. We do our best to address those. Like game design and balance stuff, we do listen to, and a lot of times we just let it kind of sit in the back of our heads for a while before we decide what to do. That way, if folks complain about stuff enough, we kind of know it's broken. For example, the durability system we added came in kind of hot, kind of late last update, and it needs some tweaking, and we've been working on getting tweaks to that. Follow up. Original issue. Again, labels, it's a player reported bug. Let's shoot for the March milestone. If not, we can push it out, and another Chad issue. Submit. Cool. Created a issue. Try this. Comment. Okay. Let me see. And Javier says that agility mod seems to be multiplied by 1.5. Yeah, so I think the item condition does kind of factor into how stats are. Um, um, how stats are calculated. That might be right. I'll look into this one a little bit more. Let me see. Tengu Knight says, "Hey, can you adjust the stream so I can change the video quality to 144p? Is it possible to follow the stream with my current network?" Um, is the stream quality okay, folks? How are things on everybody else's end? Okay, so I think that's all the stuff on. So we still have the one open pull request that Bluestone can keep working on, and then we have a few issues that we've kind of gone over. So it seems like it's in a good spot. What else? So yeah, let me go ahead and just clean that up. And actually, let me preview Chris's Jungle Nomad real quick. Cool. Gotcha. Yeah, no, I am still a baby streamer. I kind of know what I'm doing, but not really. I'm a software engineer by trade, and I do art because I enjoy it. Streaming is something I've been doing a little while now, but I am still way young in my streaming. Yeah, and I am not partnered. I mean, that would be cool to be partnered, I guess. But yeah, I'm just doing my thing. I'm sorry that the quality isn't great. Oh yeah, so the Bluestone, they said they're the Twitch crest. So for the German translation, it's looking good. What I'm going to do is I'll ask you. Let me pull it back up again. Sorry, I for some reason closed out my window. Let's duplicate that and then pull it over. So for the pull request for Bluestone, it looks like it's a partial translation. If you could just hang on, I'm just going to wait until you have all this stuff translated, and just drop me a line when that's done, and I'll get it merged in. Because this is the example mods repo, I want this to be like as complete and as good examples as we can. So if you want, just go ahead and leave this pull request open, and just keep committing to this branch, and it will update the pull request. And again, once the translation is complete, let me know, and I will merge that in. I'm sorry, Tengu Knight, that your connection is not great. I do archive these out to YouTube, so you unfortunately can watch these after the fact. And that Bluestone, does that make sense? What I'm saying about your pull request? Cool. Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. You don't like I said earlier, you don't have to close this pull request. Just leave it open and keep working out of that branch and keep pushing to that branch, and GitHub will do the magic of updating your PR. But yeah, no, I played it, and it looks like everything loaded up fine, and I know zero German, so it looked correct. I translated a few things on Google Translate, and it seems to be correct. So thank you. Yeah, I appreciate you folks chipping in. It means the world to me. Yeah, so I've been working on this sci-fi dungeon theme mod. Is kind of becoming an albatross. Like, it is spiraling out of control, and it's not getting done. And I don't want to hold back the update for that, because that's silly. but I also don't want to throw it away. It might just have to be something in Flux, and we might just have to just push the update out with that being complete. So I think there are just a couple of other little mods I want to work on. I think I also need to make a graphic for our workshop page. So I may do that on stream, I may not. I'm not sure how interesting that would be. But I'll probably make some crazy Delver stuff. So if you notice here, I've been working on this. It's called the Dungeon Shopkeeper, and in here I've created this guy called the Cheesemonger, which is just an NPC, and he has so it's a triggered shop that has a set of items, and I'm just going to make this guy that randomly appears in the dungeon that sells you cheese. Yeah, that would be awesome if you could translate it. Like, unfortunately, like I can't offer you compensation. Like we're just two people doing this in our free time, and we have like no real budget, no real time to do this. Like, like this is my only income, and I'm not making ends meet, which is kind of hard. Which is why I'm kind of pushing hard to get it completed. Again, I'm not going to rush the thing. I want to make sure it's good, but I don't know. I mean, just times are hard, you know. Times are tough. But yeah, no, I appreciate all the stuff that modders do. It really is just amazing. Yes. So the cheese shop. So actually, I think I found a slightly easier way to work. Dungeon. Sorry, I bounce back and forth between OS X and Windows, so sometimes the console commands get mixed up in my brain. Let me go ahead and move Jungle Nomad out. If Chris shows up on the stream, I might show it then. Yeah. So daylight savings means I'm an hour earlier. We sprang forward. Yeah. So yeah, where I live, like I guess my country, we observe like the changing of time, which is, but like not in a non-linear way. Yeah. So I know some countries don't do it. So hopefully that hasn't messed people up too bad. So what I want to do here is just do, I'm going to create a junction. So it's an mk-link/j. I'm actually can do a help. So link and target. I probably get these backwards, but we want to do a junction, and we want to do, I think, c:/users/repos/github/delver example mods/dungeon shopkeeper, and then /dungeon shopkeeper. Okay, I got that backwards. I always do that. /dungeon shopkeeper. Cool. So now if I do a directory, it creates it's like for those of you who are used to like Linux or Mac, you can create like a symlink, which basically it's a shortcut, but the operating system looks at it like a directory. So what I'm doing is I'm symlinking my mod out to the other repo, so I can still make changes in that repo, and it still pulls into Delver correctly. So now the shopkeeper should be added. Yep. Cool. So now Basically what I did is it spawns in a cheese shopkeeper at a very low rate. Um, uh, um, I ran the wrong thing because I'm a dummy. So I might have to create a shopkeeper just to show you what it looks like. So let me just zoom out here, and then I will make a big room. And I'll right click and place marker torch, fill it full of torches, and then I will remove marker. And then in the middle here, I will add more torches, and then I will delete that. And then now I can right click, place entity, shopkeepers, cheesemonger. So right now it just looks like Joff. And yeah, there we go. And yeah, he sells you cheese. But what it is there's a small chance that he will appear on any tile in the dungeon. So I had to make it pretty low because I want you maybe to only encounter him ever once on a dungeon level. And I also tried swirling around with or changing his collision volume so he doesn't accidentally like block off hallways. But yeah, yeah. So I don't know. I mean, it probably won't happen, but I can try to demo it here. Or actually, let me just crank up his spawn rate, and we can see what happens. So right now, his spawn rate is like 1 in 1,000. Let me just change it to 1 in 100, and yeah, we'll see what hilarity that creates. So the True Shadok says, at this stage in the game, do you have to replace any files, or is there a sort of mod folder somewhere? So the old way of modding still works. So if you create a mods folder next to the Delver executable, and you put the mod content in there, it will load up and work just fine. For this upcoming update, which is due this month, and I'm trying to get it done, I promise, we will add Steam Workshop support. So that will be nice because Steam will manage where the mods live, and it'll download them, do all that stuff for you. And that will follow Steam's. Steam has their own way of loading content, and we will just play along with that, which is actually pretty darn close to the way Delver does it, anyways. Tengu Knight says, I cannot hear or see anything, but I can still suggest things and get answers. Yeah, sure. I'll do my best to answer questions from chat. Thank you, Maker Images. It's really kind of you to say. I think, are you the same Maker Images from the TIG Source forums? Maybe. That's a fairly unique name. Speed build. Yeah, it's my job to try to make this look as beautiful as I can. So that's very kind of you to say. Ah! Ah! Man, those guys can they can one-hit you if you're not careful. Okay. I thought I would see more cheesemongers than I have. I'm just worried if I turn it up too much, he will be everywhere and it will make the game unplayable. Oh, yeah, nice. I get poison and I drink poison. Because drinking poison cures poison. Everybody knows that. Okay, this way. Yeah, I'm not gonna make it, am I? I believe your run speed forward versus your run speed backwards is different. Oh, come on. This is going to be shameful. Oh, he's going to run. Okay, I'm going to run too. Yeah, he got me. Cool. Yeah. No worries. Yeah. No. I have an Apple keyboard as well. They're interesting. I like the fact that it's super minimal. I know some folks really like the mechanical keyboards that have a really nice, satisfying like clack 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 clack. Um, but I like the minimal style, and also my son's bedroom is right next door. So the quieter the keys, the better. Because sometimes when he's sleeping during the day, I try to get a little bit of work in. Let me just pop down real quick and see if I can see if I have any Joffs spawn in. If not, I might have to look at my mod. Oh yeah, there's one right there. There's two of them right there. Yeah. Um, so basically, what I've done is I'm using the same system that puts all these grass and these mushrooms and stuff down to occasionally create shopkeeps. Um, and you have to be careful with the numbers because, like right here, this is an example of like not a great uh, situation because the number is just too high. So it's just kind of fiddling with that. Like, see, there's another Joff there. Crap. Lots of cheesemongers. Cool. Wow, only 10 euros. That's not bad. Not bad at all. Tengu Knight 42 says, I think the current boss isn't very hard to beat as ranged weapons kill it easily. How about coding a magical shield against projectiles when the magic, when the health drops below 50%? It's like Minecraft works. Yeah, actually, I think Chad and I are both kind of okay with the end boss being kind of a glass cannon. Like the end boss can certainly one hit you if you're not careful, but also he's not very strong, and we're kind of okay with that. I guess the real hard part of Delver is getting back out once you have the orb, and I think that still needs some tweaking. But I think we're okay with the end boss being not like, I don't want to have him be a bullet sponge because that's not super interesting. Okay. Yeah, so let me just go ahead and let me also let's let me add says Chad added a property so for shopkeepers to be chatty. I might add that to this guy so we can just see what that looks like. And you know, it's a nice thing to show off since it's new. So triggered shop. So triggered shop. Oh, they need a message file, it looks like. Is that what Delver? Yeah, and then the triggered shop can have a message file. Cool. Let me see. So the Bluestone says they submitted a pull request that adds new spears. That's cool. I don't know, like, I'll think about it. Like, mostly I want this to be an example of how things are done. We already have an example of how to make items. The language ones I'll hold out there. That's cool. Like the more item stuff, you can live. Those can live on your own private repos. And when we get the workshop support, please feel free to push those out to the workshop. If there are things that you'd like to see examples of in the examples mod, please let me know. But that's mostly there just to try to illustrate all the different things you can do. So hopefully that makes sense. Hopefully I'm not being too harsh. That's really cool that you made spears. Let's just take a peek real quick and see what it looks like. Yeah, nice. Um, looks like they have pretty good reach. Yeah, that's cool. Let me see. So True Shattuck says, speaking of 50% HP, how tricky would it be having scrolls give you abilities like seeing enemy HP? Um, I don't know. That's a Chad question. But yeah, it's always like when you're thinking of designing something, like I think it's important to think about the information you share and don't share with the player. And I think it's okay to not share stuff with the player as long as you have some sort of intentionality behind it. And I think that's something we need to kind of think about. Um, I'm not going to say yes, and I'm not going to say no. I think it's something we need to kind of let mull in our minds for a bit. Tinker Knight says scroll magic mapping would be cool. That is actually already in this version. Yeah, so this version now has a scroll of, I think it's called Discern Reality, which is basically an auto map, which is also really handy for debugging as well. Okay, so I wanted to create a message file for my cheese shop. So let's do that. Data, entity, so shopkeep data, new folder messages. This property, I mean, typically the message files live in this data messages directory, and I think the engine expects that. So let's just add in a new file. Let's call it cheesemonger.dat. Cheese-monger.dat. And then I'm going to look at joff.dat, Control C. Then just paste that in there. Also, let me just fix up the JSON real quick. I know Delver supports this weird libgdx non-double quoted properties on JSON objects, but for all of the JSON that I have in my repo, I try to make sure that's valid JSON, so you can use like a JSON beautifier or a JSON lint to make sure your stuff is cleaned up. So what do I want my cheesemonger to say? What are some good things that a traveling cheese salesman would tell you in the dungeon? Yeah, and True Shaddocks, they are chiming in saying, you know, like they do realize that when the enemies get low enough health, they will flee from you, which is an indication that they are about to die. Yeah, and we're trying to keep Delver pretty lightweight as far as like numbers and stats and things you have to keep in your brain. Like we want to have interesting systems, but we don't want you to have to really worry too much about them. Jeez. Mon ami, do you want some refreshments down in this dangerous place? How about let's make it 2 lines and let's yeah, looking pretty hungry. There. Yeah, I like that. Artisanal. Yeah, actually, weird. So looking up artisanal, the second result on Google suggestions is artisanal cheese. Okay, cool. Hurry up. This cheese won't eat itself. All right, that should be sufficiently silly. So for the shopkeeper, I need to add the property, so it should be a message file. Triggered shop has a message file. Yep, property. So on my triggered shop entity down here, this needs to have a message file property, and this just needs to be cheesemonger.dat. Cool. And let's do this in the editor so we can just quickly get to it. Thank you, folks, for your suggestions. Yeah. I do think it is sufficiently silly. I don't know. I try to keep Delver pretty lighthearted. Like, if you think about it, like a lot of RPGs can be pretty dark. Like you are just running into a dungeon and butchering things. So, let's give him a 1% or 100% chance of spawning. So yeah, try to keep it light and try to keep it silly. There we go. Boop. You're looking pretty hungry there, adventurer. Have some artisanal cheese. There we go. Done. Okay. And then now, this is going to be so dumb. So I'm going to make this stuff expensive, like 50 gold pieces. That's a nice thing too. So a triggered shop, the items property is a list of shop items. And the shop item is all it is an item and a cost pair. So you can actually override the amount that they sell a particular item for, which can be useful. Because this item could just be I believe it could be I mean, they do have a cost here, but you can also overload it if you just want to do it that way. So, so from folks around the world, please tell me like the actual name, like a name of a cheese that you like. And you don't have to translate it; just give it to me as is. Whether it's like some sort of queso, some sort of fromage, or I don't know what German for cheese is. I'm sorry, but yeah, if you want to give me some cool cheeses, I'll make him have a bunch of cheeses that are all identical, but they're expensive and they have silly names. Mozzarella. So which one should I use, Maker Images? Give me one. Bluestone says Gouda. I know that one. Gouda. Cool. So Maker Images, I'm going to use the last one you submitted unless you give me a better one. Esti? It can be it can be a name or a specific kind of cheese. Oh, the cheese that has mold in it, sweet. Let's go. Let's go with the gnarly stuff. And then one more. One more. Anything from you Spanish speakers? The stuff I know is pretty. Like there's, I didn't know like queso fresco and queso fundido, but I don't know if those are actually really what they're called. Um, um, hey, Adapunkin, you've just joined. We're naming cheeses. So if you have a cheese in your language of choice, let me know. But I think we have right now we have mozzarella, Gouda, Cine Holly Titjust, which is apparently some sort of moldy Finnish cheese, I think. Um, Minas is a traditional Brazilian cheese. That's cool. Let's do that. All right, let me test this out. The entity shopkeep cheesemonger, and give him a 100% chance of spawning. Oh, that makes me laugh. I'm also curious, like how many. I'm also gonna keep adding stuff, and I'm not sure if we cap how many things a shop can have, and if we don't, we might want to. So let me put in this weird suit use. Man, these. Is it Finnish maker images? I'm not quite sure where you're from. Let me take a look at the code for a triggered shop items. So this is building it out. Estonian, interesting. Sorry, again my knowledge of languages is terrible. Apologies. Shop overlay. And you pronounce the T in that cheese. Yeah, that's okay. So there is somebody from Finland here, which I had no idea. Yeah, I just knew it looked way more complicated than a language I'm used to seeing. Sorry for being making generalities like that. So shop overlay takes an array of items, and I think this is not bound in any way. So maybe we ought to. Cool. So I want to have a somewhat even distribution. So hey, Mazonix, could you give me a traditional Finnish cheese? Because I already have two Estonian cheeses in here. I want to keep the mold one in there because that's cool. Then I'll call this Don once you give me a cool name. So that should be that. Or if anybody else is out there, again, I think I have. I already think I have. Do I have two Brazilian cheeses in there or no? I'm just trying to keep it balanced. You don't translate it. We do have so the next version of Delver coming out will have support for translations, but also I went ahead and I drew out not all of the Latin Unicode characters, but a good chunk of them. I think we support some 250 odd characters now. So yeah, so we should have all the correct markings. Use. Pretty hungry there. How about some artisanal cheese? Why not? Yes. Oh man, that's awesome. Yep, everything looks good. Thank you, folks. So Guy says the mozzarella cheese should be called mozzarella refreshment. Okay. I will update that, and then I will move on from our artisanal selection of cheeses, because try to keep these mods small so folks can see what it's all about. Cool. There we go. So, and again, if you want to see how it works, basically, for this mod, the Dungeon Shopkeeper, I create a generator folder. In the generator folder, I add a dungeon folder, and I create info.dat. So what I'm doing is I'm adding items to the things that could spawn in the dungeon theme. So this is kind of an additive thing, which I think is cool, and it just creates. I just want one. I don't want more than one shopkeep. But yeah, so this just spawns in a cheesemonger into the game occasionally. So again, that's that. So yeah, thank you folks for indulging me in this silliness. Let's go ahead and let me. I want to add a just a README to this. README.md. Let me take a look at my other README so I can just lift from that, because my memory is terrible. Okay, README here. Actually, let me look at my ENUS README. Edit. So something. Sorry, you can't see what I'm doing here. Let me pop that on the side. So I just have a general little. So this is Dungeon Shopkeeper. A small example on how to randomly spawn an NPC shopkeeper in the dungeon theme with a fixed inventory. And real quick, I'd like to let me just get your names real quick, contributors, because I want to credit you folks for giving me these crazy names. So I will just use your chat names unless you want to use something else. So yeah, so we have. I think I just do dash, right? I know Maker Images suggested one. I know Guy suggested one. And if you want me to use a different name, please let me know. Otherwise, I'll use just the one out of chat. Who else used one? Somebody give me the Gouda. Yeah, that Bluestone used. Guy Van Bluestone. Somebody else gave me one, right? Seven Soul gave me one. I think Mazonix, yeah. Mazonix. Cool. Cool. So Blustone. Actually, I can just. Cool. I think that's not what I wanted. That's what I wanted. I think VS Code's Markdown previews is okay. Let me just real quickly just sort these. So can I just? Yeah, I can. So Seven Soul, Bluestone. Cool. I think that's right. I will probably update this later, but I just want to credit the folks who helped because that's cool. I may do a different sprite for that, but it's not high priority. I just wanted to get a small example going. Let's look at our changes. White sarcophagus. Let me see. So True Shaddock says, "Man, the internet is so cool, and how you don't even know how far apart people are." I was thinking of Josh. It's weird that Josh is so far in the U.S., but Finland and Estonia are represented too. Yeah, no, I mean, I have. I'm really blessed to have folks all around the world that support me, and that's just amazing, and I'm very, very grateful for that. Yeah, I live up in the Seattle area of the U.S., but there are folks all over. So let's go ahead and let's get our dungeon shopkeeper stuff checked in. So if you want to start playing around with making your own random shopkeepers that get inserted into the dungeon, you can do that. Let me add a new line because I'm weird about that. Okay. Oh, Joshua, I'm missing new lines from everything. That one's good. There we go. Yep, so this just defines the shopkeeper with the fixed inventory. Also, so the shopkeeper is two things. It's a group that is a NPC, and it is a triggered shop. The NPC is just there to play the animations, and the shop is the actual thing you interact with. Cheesemonger.dat is just their messages. The info dat, this is just the chance that they get spawned. And again, I may tweak some of these numbers because right now it's really weird where it has a 11% chance of spawning, and then it also has a 1 in 1,000% chance or after that. So I need to maybe consolidate this into one spot. But again, I've kind of finagled it where I like it now, but I need to clean that up. Well, let's just clean it up now. I need to take a quick break if you folks don't mind, and then I'll be right back. How about this one? Too much coffee. And I'll be back at, say, 13:36, 3/12/2017 today. I'll be right back. Yeah, there we go. Timed that one just about right. Okay. So White Sarcophagus. Hey, welcome back, White Sarcophagus. Glad you can make this stream. Let me see. So True Shadowk says, so how much more difficult did the durability make Delver for you guys? I need to know how guilty and or evil I should feel for suggesting it. I think the durability. I like the durability system, but it does need tweaking. I like the fact that you can't rely on a single item for the entire game, but we need to play around with some of the stats on that. Let me go ahead and just commit this real quick. So initial commit of random cheese shop. Cool. Thanks everybody. That was fun. Yeah, the durability has been kind of controversial, but hopefully not too bad. It just needs tweaking. Let me take a stab at it right now, actually. So we look at Delver example mods. Yay, Dungeon Shopkeeper. So I'll probably, if you look at, like, for example, the English language one, on this one I kind of break down a little bit more in detail what this is about. I will probably do that for the Shopkeeper. Gotcha. That's a good point, Javier. Yeah, so a couple things. Let me take a look at the durability system. This is my mods. Let's look at... So we have a durability property, and we have a current durability. So how it works is every time you use it, the durability gets incremented, and when we go above the durability, we reset it to 0, and then we worsen the item condition, if that makes sense. So if we look at, let's close everything else. Let's look at items.dat. Let's look at Iron Dagger. That has a, let me see. Well, these all have the default durability. So up here, durability of 25. So that should mean it takes 25 hits before you, before it will go from normal to worn, and then 25 more hits before it goes from worn to broken. So basically you can use it 50 times before it's pretty bad. So what I've been meaning to do, and I'll just do it now, is let's go ahead and let me see. Do we have any durabilities in here? Durability. No. So I think all the iron stuff should have a durability of 25, because I think that is fine. But I think the steel stuff should probably have either double or triple the durability. So I want steel to be the most durable of all the material types, if that makes sense. So I'm going to put it, I guess, right after damage. So durability, and trying to think. How about 50? That makes it twice as good as all the iron stuff. So steel short sword, steel mace, steel spiked mace, steel sword, steel hammer. Yeah. Okay, so those are all the weapons. Have folks noticed their armor degrading? I think it ought to, but I'm not sure if I've noticed it or not. Let me take a quick peek. Armor. It does have a durability. Yeah, it should be going down as well. Let me see. Just actually find usages. Yeah. Where is this used? Usages. Sure. Yeah, that should be fine. Should be getting used. Let me go ahead and just also for the, I guess for the steel. Steel sword, blah blah blah. So yeah, steel dagger. All this stuff has a double durability. I think for steel mail, it probably ought to be the case as well. Steel greaves. I'm trying to think let me not worry about the armor right now because it's the armor ramping is a little weird. Cool. So folks are chiming in that they have noticed the armor degrading. So we have leather, and then quilted leather, amulets, chainmail greaves. Yeah, I'll go ahead and add it to the armor as well. Like, so chainmail greaves, they're all steel, so they should be roughly the same durability. Steel mail is steel, so I'll make that a nice double durability. Steel helmet. Plate mail, also steel. Plate mail. I'm not really worrying about scale mail is a mix of leather and mail, so maybe I'll do somewhere in the middle. So let's do 30, yeah, 35. Again, I'm just pulling numbers out of the air, folks. So I mean, I really count a lot on your feedback to let me know what is working and what is not working. And jeweled plate mail. Yeah, I'm always curious about the jeweled stuff. I think I might make it not as good as steel, just because maybe it is fancier and it gives you a little bit more armor, but maybe it's not as durable. Just a small little bit. Okay, I think that's all the. So let's look at my changes. Delver, items, Joff. Let's just discard those changes. Durabilities. I think I have some other stuff to take. Sorry, I keep getting flipped around. Okay, so also on the mace. So iron mace is okay. Those should be the lower durability. Iron hammer is okay. Steel mace has a better durability. Steel spike mace, better durability. Steel sword. Steel hammer. Engraved dagger. I think I'm gonna do the same thing too, where it is like the engraved stuff is going to be halfway. So it's going to be 35. The engraved short sword again. I think I'm trying to add some variety here where there's just not simply a best item. Hopefully that the steel stuff can make up for the fact that they don't do as much damage, but they maybe last longer. So maybe they're have a little bit more utility that way. Gilded mace, same thing. It's a fancy mace. It's not as durable. It's better than iron, but it's not as good as steel. If I'm like crazy right now, folks, please speak up. Yeah, the fancy stuff is just going to be a little bit better than iron in terms of durability. Okay, I think that's all of the weapons, maybe. Yeah, there's a lot of weapons. Iron Dagger, the default is okay. Iron Sword, default is okay. Iron Mace, default is okay. Spike Mace, default is okay. 50. I think I got him. I think I got him. I don't believe bows have durability. That's a question. Oh. Nope. Bows do not have durability. You can use those things forever. But bows are limited by the fact that you eventually run out of arrows if you don't keep finding them. Because arrows do have a small chance to break each time you use them. So eventually, if you have 10 arrows, by the time you've gone through several levels, you might be down to like 7. So that's kind of balancing it out that way. And for example, wands don't really have durability either. Even though they do technically have a durability, it only affects their quality. They don't really actually go down because they have a limited number of shots. That's cool. Let me just take a quick peek at the armor. Cool. Again, just trying to not be super fine-toothed about it. Just kind of have a rough. Just trying to, again, add more item differentiation. I think I've got it, maybe. The shields. Actually, I think the buckler, I'm going to make it have durability of 50 because it's just a little steel, a little piece of steel, which is probably pretty tough. And I think the other, shields, they all are wood based, so I think it makes sense for this guy to have the most durability. Cool. All right, so that's a pretty rough adjustment to durability, but hopefully it's all right. Let me just check that in. Tweaking durability. And let's do something like iron 25, steel 50, engraved 35, gilded or jeweled, I think it's 40, engraved / gilded. True Shaddock says the kite shield would be the strongest of the wooden shield, if anything, which is this fella here. Sure, I'll make it just a touch stronger, just because you suggested it. So, kite shield, round shield, heater shield, I think is what I called it. Yeah, so I have a round, a heater, and a tower. I think it's also called a kite shield. I'll just bump it up just a tiny bit. So armor, and then durability. 35 is fine. 30, just a little bit, just because True Shaddock said something. Cool. There we go. And actually, before I commit, let me just play, so make sure things aren't totally broken. Because again, if I make a mistake in the data files, the game will crash and not load, which is not a good state for the game to be in. Race, plate. All right, so I guess we're coming up on the 2-hour mark. I might do one more hour because I'm having a good time and making good progress. So I appreciate all the folks who've hung in with me so far. And I'll play a little bit of Delver, and then we'll get back to work after having some fun and testing out some of these changes. And if I remember correctly, too, I still think I have. I still think I have the Cheesemonger mod installed, so we may see our Cheesemonger show up. An unwieldy fine iron mace. Oh, that's way too slow. Let me steal this candle though. A cool thing too is the this light halo also respects your position, so now you can cast. If you're close enough to a wall, you can cast the light halo on the wall, which I think is a pretty nice little touch. Himban says, is it possible to have a single weapon pickup give you multiple weapons? What do you mean? There are just a ton of enemies coming at me. Okay, defense, because I'll probably need it. A fine iron mace of ice. Yes. Ah. Cool. Okay. We need to go this way. Also, like Chris pointed out, the drop shadow on bats is particularly helpful. So for flying enemies, so you can tell where they're at, which can be tricky at times. I think I'm going to forego the light for our buckler. Yeah, a fine buckler should have quite a bit of durability on it. Ah! Okay, I got this. The fireball wand, also the fireball itself has a little bit of, so it respects gravity, so you have to kind of aim it up if you want it to land exactly where it ought to. Can I knock him to the spikes? Ah! That is my favorite thing about the maces, is it allows you to position enemies, which I like to push them into the environmental hazards. Okay. Ooh, that was enough to make him run away. Still no shopkeep. He really should. I was trying to tweak it so he only appears ever once on a level, but he may appear none or multiple times. So it's kind of hard to. Again, some of this procedural random stuff is kind of hard to get it to do exactly what you want, and that's okay. Being surprised is part of the fun. Syntax421 says, I played the game for a long time and never knew you could put candles in your offhand. Yep, you certainly can put candles in your offhand. Unholy fine iron sword. So it's bad for defense, but it does decent damage. Right, Sarcophagus says, just a question, since I've missed a lot. Was all the sci-fi work about as a mod test? Yeah, so it is a mod that I was working on to kind of show you like a more complete example of what you can do with a dungeon. Like it was kind of getting out of control. Like I was spending way too much time on it. So I'm kind of just, I think I may just kind of leave it out there in that branch if folks want to play with it. I don't know, like I put enough time to it. I do want to release it, but I don't want to hold up our update for it either. So I'm trying to just make some smaller mods that are good examples of just the maybe more of the breadth of what you can do, and not so much about the depth right now. Because I think it'd be better to have more examples of different kinds of things you can do than one really complete example. But if you folks are interested in modding, please give me your feedback as to what you would like to see out there. Ouch. I think when I hit the dungeon down, I will go back to work. Okay. There we go. The Bluestone says, "Can you throw potions?" Yes. So unfortunately, the way you do it isn't. I think we need to refactor how that works. Because right now, if I wanted to throw a potion, you mouse wheel to it, which I would rather it be that you can. I don't know. I think we need, because like the potion behaves differently than for example, the apple. So if I were to have mouse wheel to the apple, if I left click, I eat it. But if I go to the potion and I left click, I do a wind up and then a throw. I think what we ought to do, if Chad is listening, is we already have a throw key. Like if you notice, like if you have any held item, you can hit Q to throw it. And I'm kind of thinking that maybe we should make the Q key do the charge throw thing. So like this, I think you should be able to do that with any item. Just hold down Q, and that should work that way. So that way, it would be able nice to like hotkey to this and then left click to drink it. But a lot of RPGs have it, so if you hit the hotkey, you automatically drink it. So I don't know. It's something we need to work out. But yeah, definitely throwing potions is a strategy folks can use. Right. Nope, no trouble there. Ooh, another wand. A zombie. Huh. He's fine up there by himself. Okay. Yeah, I feel like sometimes too, like the potions will auto explode if they hit, but not always. I need to double check that, because that one definitely auto exploded, and I'm out of potions. Let me go this way. Is this third down? No. It is another potion bomb. Let's. Oh, yeah. Yeah, okay there. It does seem to explode on contact, which is good. There are so many enemies here. There we go. Yeah, the firewall one has a decent area of effect, so that's cool. Health. Sure. Ah! In the drink. Yeah, again, I apologize. Like the user experience around the potions is still a little wonky, and I definitely want to make sure we get that solidified before we actually ship the final version. But this next version that should be released sometime this month is just all about Steam Workshop support. Part of that is just me building mods, so we have example mods. It's also nice to have mods on the workshop when we launch, so it's not just an empty workshop, which would be sad. I've also been lucky to have some folks from the community volunteer, and they've already made some mods ahead of time. Some folks are in chat right now, like Javier did the Spanish translation, Louis Carl did the French translation, and they've I know Louis has uploaded his French translation already to the workshop, so that will be ready to go. I know Chris has created a few more item mods, which is pretty cool. He's also working on a nice story mod. So again, I appreciate all the folks' support at helping us. But yeah, this update should be coming out later this month. Okay. Yeah. So that ran. So let me just commit that. Let me sync. Yeah. So that should. So hopefully for folks, this will address some of the durability issues, where different different types of items have different durabilities. So maybe over time you get kind of a feel for which ones are which. Again, this goes back into the should we give people perfect perfect knowledge or not. We're still kind of trying to figure out the right thing to do there as far as communicating durability. Right now we do it with just with text. So yeah, just stuff for Chad and I to think about. I want to play around with this gun mod a little bit because I think it's a lot of fun, and also I could do a few more examples of the projectile guns because we have them, and I haven't made any cool projectile guns, so maybe that's an excuse for me to make some art and play around with this stuff. So real quick, let me just do. I think that's what it's called. I'm making a items guns. I'm just making a junction here so I can I could work out of my repository for the examples, but still have it update in the Delver mod directory. Cool. So for folks who don't know about this one is it's wacky, but it's fun. So items, guns, levels, shooting range, load. Yeah. Ooh, now it has all the shadows too, so that'll be interesting. So play, and then you can grab a gun, and as long as you have ammo for it, it will work. So a shotgun behaves like a shotgun. They respect their like they have a cycle time, so they can only attack so fast. So the shotgun has a pretty slow cycle time. Over here, for example, like the revolver has a pretty high cycle time. The revolver can attack pretty much as fast as you can click, almost. So you can you can blast away that way. And also we have you can also have automatic guns as well, of course. So this is just a nice little submachine gun. This kind of just puts out the bullets, and of course I you have to take it to the silly level. So I have a triple machine gun, which I lifted from Nuclear Throne, which just kind of shreds stuff. It's and I've also burned through all my ammo. It's pretty fun because you can set how much ammo it consumes per shot. So this one takes 3 bullets per shot. Let me see. Michael says those barrels are good. Are they new? No, the barrels went in at the sewer update over a year ago. And then I also have, a double barrel, which again, it's like a shotgun. It does way more damage, has a bigger spread, and consumes two ammo per shot. It has a pretty slow cycle time. And there is the cannon, which again I was lacking for a really good idea for it. The ultimate shotgun would basically it has the tightest spread of all the shotguns, and it really it puts out a lot of pellets, and it eats up a lot of ammo. And again, you can find this all out on the GitHub repo if you want to see how it works. You will need for a lot of the stuff on the Delver repo right now, you will need a private build of Delver Update 14. Heembon says, is it possible for a mod to add new enemies? Yes, you can certainly add new enemies. Maybe that would be more fruitful for me to do than play around with adding new guns, because we already have a good example of guns. I was just going to show you that you can also have so example or guns. You can have non-hit scan guns as well. Is kind of my point there. So this is like a plasma rifle, or just launches out projectiles really quick. And that's that. Cool. So I'm not going to worry about tweaking with this so much. I will see if I can add a new monster, because I think that might be a better use of my time. Okay, so actually, I'm just delete the link. Cool. Okay, so let's make a monster. Feel free to throw out suggestions and ideas, but it's probably just going to be just a very basic kind of critter. In fact, it might be something like I think we have the old versions of Delver had uh, like ambient life, like they had like little mice that would run around, and I wonder if I could add that back. So you can go entity, basic, monster, and I think there's a flag on the monster. Let me see. Hostile, false. So if it's not hostile, and it should wander. The speed is 0, so let's make the speed like 0.5. See what that does. Whoa! Okay, so that's too high, apparently. Jeez. It's kind of scary, actually. Oh, man. Oh, so how about let's slow that down by a factor of 10? And he's still zippy. Woo! Ah! Ah! Jeez. Oh, man. Another factor of 10? There we go. Whew. Yeah. Yeah. And if I attack him, can I attack him? No. So apparently if he's not hostile, I can't hurt him? Is that right? Reach, blah, 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 blah. Has attack animation, HP 1. Is solid false. Is solid true? Oh, there we go. Weird. Okay, yeah. So you have to make them solid so you can hit them. That makes sense. Oh my goodness, yeah. Yeah, I think mice might be a pretty easy thing to do, and you should be able to follow the pattern of the shopkeep, where I can just spawn them in the dungeons at random. So let's wanders, true, speed. Is there anything? Blood type, blah blah blah. Die, 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 die. So mice cannot open doors. Let's turn that to false. And let's even slow it down even further. Cool. So the question is, so like for the bugs, you can't kill the bugs. Should I make it so you can't kill the mice either, or should you be able to kill the mice? And then the problem is if you kill the mice, do they should the mice always drop cheese? No. Maybe they shouldn't. Maybe turn off the is physical so you can't kill them. Gotta be nice to the mice. They already have a hard life in the dungeon, but then the drop shadow implies you can. So maybe you should. Maybe you should be able to kill the mice. Make you just feel bad. I don't want a huge collision volume on them, just a little one. Okay, this should be a good enough start. Oh man. White Sarcophagus says it would be cool if you could kill the slime. When they die, they leave little mini slimes zip around. Yeah, I know some roguelikes have creatures that when you kill them, they create like more instances of themselves. Like I think Infra Arcana has these worms that they keep like splitting. I think they get weaker, and you can slowly kind of whittle them down. But like the more you fight them, the more you create of them, which is cool. But right now we don't have a way of doing that. So let me go ahead and right click and go to 2JSON, and that should give us just a nice little. This is just the entity we've defined here in the editor. This is the JSON definition for that. So let's go ahead and start a new mod, right? What should we call it? New folder. How about? Oh man. Dungeon mice. And of course, we're going to need a data folder because that's where all the data definitions live. And it's going to be kind of like the shopkeeper. So, yeah, we need an entities.dat. So entities.dat, which is a JSON file. Just load this up and pop it over in a new window. A nice thing about VS Code is you can, for this project, I've set up a definition to treat all the .dat files like JSON. So that's a nice little time saver there. And also, I guess, full disclosure, I used to work for Microsoft, and I did not work on VS Code, but I did work on a few extensions for VS Code. So just so I'm upfront about that. Entities. These are going to be wildlife. And then this is going to be a mouse. And paste. And then Alt-Shift-F. I should format it nicely. Okay. That looks okay. I think that's. I don't know if I needed to find the blood spatter decal. Some of this data might be extraneous, but we'll see. So this is the definition for the entity, and then I'm going to create a new folder for generator, and then a new folder called Donjon. So I'm going to basically just follow this pattern here. And then a new file, info.dat. This will get merged into the dungeon theme. So this will spawn a mouse on floor tiles. It will spawn it on floor texture tile 2, which is, if you look at the textures master sheet, it should be this one right here. So 0, 1, 2. So all these tiles have a chance to spawn mice. Right now it is a 1 in 10 chance, which is a lot. I want it to be a prefab. The category is wildlife, and the name is mouse. So dungeon. How about let's rename this to critters, and I'll rename the category to critters, and then in the entities.dat I need to change wildlife to critters. Cool. True Shadox, I don't know why the mice were removed. They were at one point in time they were removed. So this should work. Again, let me just make a junction to dungeon critters. I guess it doesn't even really matter what this one is called, so let's call it just cool. So now let me just relaunch the editor. Now we should be able to spawn in mice that look a lot like slimes into dungeon areas. And at a 10% chance, there's probably going to be a lot of them. Place marker, torch, remove marker. Sweet. And play. Yeah, so there are there are a lot of mice, which could be kind of cool. It would be kind of freaky to have like just a room full of mice and you don't know why. But yeah, and maybe I need to play with how high they are too, because like if you stepped over a mouse, I don't know if it should really bump you up that much. And I can bomb the mice. Oh, poor mouse. So they whoa, whoa, whoa. I didn't think they were going to attack me. That's interesting. So they become hostile. Maybe they shouldn't. Oh. Yeah, maybe I should make it so you can't kill them, because I don't want people farming mice for items. Or do I? This is a mod, so I mean the rules are pretty fast and loose. We don't really have any. There's no hooks into the code for when something is stepped onto another thing. So unfortunately, I can't make you squish them when you step on them. Mostly just because, like, for all the other enemies in Delver, that's just not a really big use case. So now they all go. All those go aggro that were hit by that. Okay, so that is spawning them in, which is cool. So what I need now, I guess, is just as a mouse art, right? Just draw a little mouse. So let's go ahead and, I think I already have, let me open up just the master sheet of NPCs. Dungeon, so I'll probably just lift colors off of that. For those of you who don't know, all the entities in Delver are 32 by 32, so that may be handy. Because basically a bat is a flying mouse, right? So I could do something like that. So let's go File, New. How many? Oh, let's make it. I just need like a walk animation, and it can be really simple. So maybe 4 frames is sufficient. So let's do File, New, and it's going to be 128 by 32, which should be correct. Yeah, I believe so. Let's delete this there. Let's go File, Save As, and let's save it in Mods, Dungeon Critters. I'll just save it here in the root. It's probably okay. Ping. Critters.ping. Okay. And now, again, real quickly, I'm just going to just quickly lift the first 4 frames of the bat, paste them in here, save it. Come on, Photoshop. Critters. Yeah. Yep. And then we need to hook this up in our mod. So in data, we need to create a file called sprite sheets. Like that. And if you look at, for example, like the guns, they have a sprite sheet. And all the sprite sheet really is it just defines how many columns, the file name, the scale, all that good stuff. So for the dungeon critters, for the sprite sheets, just paste that info in. It is 4 columns, which is nice. It is called critters.ping. The scale is 1. The items are all scaled down by 50%, but all the entities are not. Name critters. I think that should be fine. And then in our entities.dat, this needs to be critters. Let me just double check this too. I think Bluestone is asking how long I will stream today. I think I will do just another 40 minutes. I think a 3-hour stream is it allows me to get enough work done, and hopefully I'm not bored you all to death. Critters mouse. Okay, if I hit play. I think I might need to dig a little deeper. Let me look at monsters.dat. Let's see how these are. Yeah, so we need a walk animation. So let's copy that. Let's go to our critter. I don't think we need these decals. I don't think we need them. I think they're just optional. So let's delete them. Control V. And of course we need to double quote our string properties. Nope. And then start should be 0, end should be 4. Okay, get rid of that trailing comma, and then let's see if that works. Of course, we should get plenty of these little guys spawning in. We're also getting a GFX error on some of them. Yes, because I'm a dummy, and we don't have 5 frames of animation, we only have 4, so it needs to go from 0 to 3. It's nice that Chad added the feature that if you exceed the bounds of a sprite sheet, instead of bailing out, we now show that GFX error. And then let's also, I think the speed, if it's larger, it goes slower. Let's see that. Weird. Some of them seem nice and slow, and some of them seem like super fast. Really weird. I'm not sure what's going on here. Let me just add one here in the corner and play around with the properties. So critters, mouse. If I toggle simulation, will it do anything? No. So there is an option called toggle simulation, which for like particle systems will make them animate, stuff like that. So if I hit play, so he seems nice and slow, because that's, well, I guess we don't have access to those properties. Yeah, that seems okay. These guys seem really super fast. What are they doing? What are you doing, little mice? Not mice. Let me just do a quick and dirty change these little bats into mice. It's Photoshop time. Okay, so Okay. Yeah, this is going to be super rough. And by rough, I mean bad. Okay, let's just get this. Let's try to get this roughly blocked in. Let's save it. Let me open it in Pixel Edit because that makes more sense. File, Pixel Edit. Okay. File, imports, animations, mux, all that good stuff. So assets, mods, dungeon critters, open. 32 by 32. Port. New animation. Play. Well, that's something. Let's try to make this a little bit better. Again, not super awesome, but not that bad. I can do better than that. I can do better. I don't think he shouldn't hop all the way off the ground. That's kind of bothering me. I don't even know if he should have as floppy ears as he does. Let me just pull back the ears a bit. Ugh, ugh, ugh. So gross. How about let's just start with just the tiniest little mouse. Just a little blob. So he's like doing all. So if you look at the motion of this thing is all over the place. Like he is. This is not great. Let me find a frame I like, and then let's just kind of. Okay, this one's probably fine. Let me just real quick. Okay. I'm just gonna have him just do maybe because it's just simple like up and down. Maybe a down, down, up. So let me try that. Down, down. Down. Ugh. Well, I'll keep working on it, and then we'll get somewhere hopefully. Clean up that. Let me slow this down. And then I think he needs ears. That's what's not reading as a mouse. I just don't know how big they need to be for them to read as a mouse. Sometimes it's nice on this animation just to have the like these just lag a little bit, if that makes any sense. So like he goes down, they stay put, and then these drop down the next frame. Let's see, up, so up, down, 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 up, up, down. I'm making a mess of all this. Let's see if we can get something workable. Yeah. Now I'm worried I don't have enough frames, but this was 100. My code is at 60. That's a lot of motion for a little mouse. Okay, for the ears, like, so when they fall, maybe have them have a little bit of a smear. And smear back up. Maybe just give them, just hint at a little bit of a nose, I suppose. Yeah, the ears are way too noisy. It's like they shouldn't ever detach from his head. So maybe I need to move the smear frame. It's looking okay. And again, maybe just to have a little bit of offset on the bouncing here. So maybe he goes down, but this stays up. If that makes any sense. Down from that one, this stays down here. It's pretty quiet on chat. How are you folks doing today? Yeah, I'm working on making just a little wrap for a silly mod. Yeah, maybe a pink nose would help too. Pink ears, just really kind of go cartoony on it. That way you can definitely tell. Definitely tell what's going on there. I don't know if I should have. Maybe I'm just trying to put too much detail in here. I don't know. Nah, let's leave it pink. Just keep it simple. Oh, it's just file, export, image, browse, assets, mods, critters. Yup. Save. Yes. And then if we launch our editor, we should have tons of little mice running around. See Bluestone? Or not Bluestone, sorry, see Adapunkin. Sorry, I came in the wrong end of chat there. Yeah, and I think it looks more like a mouse with a tail. And again, I don't want to spend a lot of time on it. I just want to. I think Heembond was asking for a tutorial on how you would make new monsters, and this is a way to do it. Yeah, there are. Whoa! Why is this one in the? Oh, what is he doing? Why is he doing that? I don't know what they're all doing. My goodness, some of them are animating really fast, and some of them are animating at a normal cadence. Can I? Oh, poor mouse. Heck. I need to see if monsters have a chance to drop, because that's what I need to turn off. Monster. Speed Wanderers. So this is the property I added. So they have a 50% chance of spawning something. Yikes. That's okay. I'm not going to worry too much about it. So you have little mice that can appear. So let's just turn down their percent chance of spawning and let's play and see what it looks like. So maybe because we're using the gen info to place them. So in this generator info.dat, there's a 1 in 10 chance on that tile they spawn. So if I make it a 1 in 100, we should certainly see less. Still a lot. Still a lot. Let me play around with. I will lower it even by another factor of 10. And I'm still trying to figure out why sometimes the speed is crazy and sometimes it is not. Because if you look at the other monsters.dat here, there's a attack, hurt, and idle. Oh wait, there's no idle. There's a walk, attack, hurt, and die. I'm just curious, like, are they trying to do? I don't know what they're doing. I don't know. Oh well, let's. So I turned it down to a much smaller chance of generating. And let's actually play some Delver. We haven't played Delver in a while. Actually, um, let me take a quick break. I'll play the last 15 minutes of Delver, taking questions and answers. So get your questions ready if you'd like me to answer them. Oh, Joshua. Let me see. The KU022 says, is there any way to be a nightly or beta tester for Delver? I don't know. I see a Bluestone. Thank you for the PRs. I'm looking forward to the German translation. It'll be really cool. We have a beta branch, but that's usually just like we'll push a build to the beta branch maybe a week or two before we actually update. It depends. We also use it for other things as well, just for like internal testing. And you can just opt into that going into Steam, and then you can look at. Let me show you real quick. Steam library, not Hexen. Delver properties, betas. Then you could opt into the beta branch if you so like. But right now the beta branch and the main branch are the same. Are we shooting for a specific update for the next specific date for the next update? Unfortunately, no, we don't have a specific date. I think what I'd like to do is kind of go over the issues that we have for this update. Either we're going to fix them or not, and yeah, we can kind of figure it out from there. But hopefully not too long. I really don't like, as far as the changes to Delver itself, we don't really need a lot of those. So I think I just need to submit a few of my mods, and get we need a banner image for our workshop, and I think that's all really I have left on my end. So not a lot. Cool. So we have the mice, and I'm just going to play some Delver with mice. So right now, for like Delver has supported modding for a long time. The mods out on my repo, many of them you need of this version, update 14, which is not out yet. But if you are interested, why are you guys spawning? Uh-oh. I think I know what happened. I think I know what happened. I think we already have a critters dot. Yeah. I bet you. I think we already have a critters. We do already have a critters. So let me. So instead of creating new stuff, I overrode wrote some stuff, which is why they were going so fast. So let me fix my mod real quick. So mods and dungeon critters. Let me call this dungeon critters.ping, and then in my sprite sheet, let's call this dungeon critters, and then dungeon critters, and here. There we go. Now let's launch Delver. And now the flies should be flies and not mice. There we go. There we go. You have to be careful about naming your stuff in your mods, potentially because you could step on each other. So make sure you have a fairly unique name for your mod. Ooh, a poison mace. This is going to be an interesting run. And a regular old spiky mace. I was so fixated on this one, I missed it. So we should see mice. Maybe I've turned them down so much because I was seeing not only mice but also the flies as mice. Let me see. I've not seen any so far. Yeah, I may have turned them down too much. Let's try bumping them back up to 1 in 100. Hemon says, "Are elevators possible in Delver?" Yes. There is an elevator in the cave area. One of the rooms has an elevator that you can use to you lower up and down to connect either one of two pathways. So let's go down and let's check it out. Mice, maybe. Oh. Huh. Yeah, I would think I'd be seeing more than I am. Oh, there's one. Okay. Maybe I'll double it and call it good. So 0.02. Yeah, no, Delver has a trigger system that you can have it target movers, and they can go up and down, left and right, whatever, forward and back. You can make elevators or squishers or whatever you want that way. Cool. There we go. This might, again, like these numbers are really hard to kind of find good values for because, again, it's just the random nature of things makes it tough. So a lot of it is just kind of guesswork and then trying to find good values. Yeah, I'm gonna probably have their vertical height and then I'll check this in because that's probably okay. Now there's just so, it seems like there's so many now. Ugh, okay, well, let's just make it 1.5, save, and on the entities, their Z collision is halved. Well, this is our new little company splash, I guess. I don't need that against go down. All right. Yep, and they're mice, and you can walk over them, and they just aren't so high now, which is perfectly fine. Speed, and you can kill them. I think you should be able to. Oh, poor mouse. Yeah, you can certainly do that. Cool. I think that's a good place for this little mod. I'm really worried now about this whole critters term that I'm goofing things up. Let me take a look at entities.dat critter. So flies are type. So we have an entity called critter, but that's just like a little. They create like little fly-like things where they kind of swarm. It's like a particle swarm is what it is, an engine. I wonder. Hopefully that's not too confusing. Yeah, let me just real quick. Let me just make it super clear. Dungeon mice. Or try. Nice. Something is a lock on the file. No. Discard. Okay. Okay. And then I'm just going to go through real quick and just change all this stuff up too. Again, just to hopefully make it less confusing. Because critters are already a thing in Delver, and I don't want to reuse a term that could potentially just muddy the what do we call it here? Just make sure I didn't break it, and then I'll check it in. All right, I'm just gonna, hopefully I can find a mouse and then call it good. That's a Nasty place for a trap. Oh man. Here real quick, let me check the output and make sure. Well, it looks okay. I don't see anything that looks bad in the output. Sure. And now I can't find one to save my life. Okay, just jump into Delve Edit and see if it's any easier to have these spawn in. And an interesting thing about Delve Edit now is Chad recently added a feature up here for level. You can set the theme, and this will determine themes that exist, and it'll also let you pick your mod themes. So if you want, like right now it's set to dungeon, and it will decorate this like a dungeon, which can be useful for. I'm just not seeing any mice, am I? Errors. So dungeon mice, mouse, dungeon mice, entities, dungeon mice. That should all be fine. Oh, did I break my junction? Is that what I did? Yeah. Just trying to be fancy, and it comes back and bites me. But really, creating junctions like this is super handy. There we go. There we go. We got a little our mice back. There we go. Perfect. All right. So Delver example mods, changes, entities, new lines, Joshua, spreadsheets, info. Okay. Cool. Commit and sync. All right, well, I think I've hit the 3-hour mark, so I want to thank everybody who has hung out with me today and stuck with me. And we made 2 new mods today, which is pretty cool. We let me pull it up here so we can kind of look it over. But we created a mod you saw right now about dungeon mice. This dungeon mice allows you to add just little additional monsters into a theme. Now, I might need to refactor this because I probably need to have it merged with the monsters.dat file and not through the geninfos. That might be a more proper way to do monsters. But at least it shows you how to define a. Did I miss the entities.dat? Crap. Missed entities. So at least we'll show you how to create a new monster. You can't like script logic or anything like that. You basically just can kind of choose like the behaviors and stats and stuff that already exist in the game and kind of mix them up how you like. There we go. So yeah, so yep, just added a basic enemy, which hopefully is helpful for folks. Let me see. And we created our, where is it? Our dungeon shopkeeper, which is our the NPC shopkeeper that randomly spawns up in the dungeon to sell you fancy cheese from all around the world. So thank you to the folks who who were give me names of cheese that were fun, that were fun. And let me think. So there's not a lot left on this update. I'm gonna keep pushing to try to get it done. It definitely should be out sometime this month. So thank you. So I will be back next Sunday. I used to do bonus streams, but that was when I had a more solid daycare situation. We're still resolving that. So maybe I'll get back into the bonus streams. Maybe not. It just depends. But thank you for your support. Thank you for purchasing my game if you have. That directly supports me financially, and it means a lot. Thank you for watching my stream. I look forward to every Sunday hanging out with you folks and talking about game development and making weird and fun things. I think that's it. Folks, go out, have a good week. Take care, and I will see you next Sunday. Bye.